Hey there my peeps, this is the prediction game video for Ryback versus Mark Henry, a match you're going to see this Sunday at WrestleMania 29. It's one of the matches I'm interested in. I want to see if Ryback can lift Mark Henry out for the shell shock. I think that's pretty much everybody's question. Can Ryback do it? Can Ryback lift Mark Henry up? Because so far the heaviest person Ryback's lifted up is Tensai. Tensai weighs 300 something pounds, I believe. Mark Henry weighs 400 and something pounds. So Mark Henry definitely weighs more than Tensai. So the question is he strong enough to lift him up for the shell shock? I know when it came to Tensai, the first time Ryback tried to lift him up for the shell shock, he wasn't able to do it, so he finished the match with the clothesline. But the reason for that, I believe, is just because maybe Tensai didn't help him with the move on that night. Because on SmackDown, I think the very same week, they had another rematch, and Ryback lifted him up for the shell shock. And as far as like the maximum weight Ryback's lifted up for the shell shock, I think it was when he faced off against, I think it was Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre, or it might have been Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. I don't know, two members of 3MB. He lifted them both up for the shell shock, and both of them combined is, 400 pounds or so. So that's pretty close to Mark Henry's weight. And I know people have lifted up Mark Henry in the past for their finishers, such as Brock Lesnar and John Cena. Brock Lesnar for the F5, John Cena for the attitude adjustment. But the thing is, lifting somebody up for an AA or F5 is easier than Ryback's shell shock. Because when it comes to those moves, really they're squatting down and straight away putting their opponents on their shoulders, while Ryback starts off in a suplex position or fisherman suplex position and sets them up on his shoulders. And even when they're on Ryback's shoulders, it's really not the same position as the AA or F5 where they're like laying down straight, but actually lifting somebody up that heavy in a suplex position. Goldberg's done that before. You guys are probably seeing the video, Goldberg hitting the jackhammer on Big Show. That was really impressive. So I'm really looking forward to this match just to see if Ryback can do it. If he can't, if he wins the matchup by like a clothesline or something like that, it's definitely not going to get the same reaction as if he can get Mark Henry up for the shell shock. This reminds me of John Cena versus the Big Show, when John Cena lifted up the Big Show for the AA for the first time ever at WrestleMania. The crowd was just, the crowd popped big. They were all standing on their feet, and I think it'd be the same type of, reaction from the crowd. He'd get a big pop if he can lift Henry up for that move, and it'd make for a WrestleMania moment for Ryback, just like John Cena's WrestleMania moment against the Big Show for the United States Championship. I think that's pretty much what they're going for here. If they're not going for that, then I don't know really what's going to set this match apart from the other matches. Because they've got a great opportunity here to have Ryback pull off something really impressive. Anyways, this matchup, it kind of came out of nowhere. It was unexpected because initially I thought Ryback would maybe face the Big Show at WrestleMania. And then, in the world title scene, things started to unfold. Big Show became the world champion, so it kind of set Ryback up perfectly to win the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber, any type of number one contendership match to challenge the Big Show for the world title at WrestleMania. And it seemed like that was, the match that was going to take place. But then what happened is the Big Show actually had lost the World Heavyweight Championship before the Rumble, and Ryback ended up being, the, semi-finalist or last guy eliminated in the Rumble. John Cena wins the Rumble instead. So pretty much the whole idea of Big Show versus Ryback for the World Heavyweight Championship, that whole idea kind of, went out the door. There was still a possibility, I guess, for Big Show versus Ryback one-on-one non-title, but I don't know, it just didn't seem very likely. Because you also had Ryback, who had some unfinished business with the Shields. And not only that, but there were also rumors that maybe Chris Jericho, after Chris Jericho returned at the Rumble, there were rumors that he was going to turn heel and face off against Ryback at WrestleMania. Start a feud with him, start a program with Ryback. And then Ryback started getting attacked, I think, by the Shields. And he had a match with the Shield at the Elimination Chamber with John Cena and Sheamus. He ended up losing that match too. And even after that match, he still wasn't done with the Shield. In fact, he decided to team up with Jericho and Sheamus on an episode of Raw. And once again, Ryback, and company, Ryback, Chris Jericho, and Sheamus lost the matchup to the Shield. So it seemed like, okay, you know what, I think maybe Ryback is going to face off against the Shield at WrestleMania, maybe finally get his payback against the Shield and beat them after they've cost him so many matchups, and they've also beaten him in, 6-man tag team matches and such. But then after that 6-man tag team match on Raw, Ryback kind of went his own way. There wasn't much interaction between Ryback and the Shield anymore. And in fact, he was just, facing off against random superstars in one-on-one matches, racking up victories after victories. But it still kind of seemed that he still might have a match with the Shield at WrestleMania, because Sheamus then recruited Randy Orton, and obviously if they were to face the Shield, they would need the third guy, and the third guy, it made sense to have that third guy be the Ryback. That's what Daniel Bryan calls Ryback. But yeah, it made sense to have Ryback be that third guy, and they could have a 6-man tag team match at WrestleMania. That seemed like the most likely match, because Ryback is like the main target of the Shield, or has been the main target of the Shield for like the longest period of time. But then the Big Show, the same guy that I thought was gonna face Ryback at WrestleMania, he started getting involved with the Shield. It all started on an episode of SmackDown where Big Show was facing off against Randy Orton. The Shield interfered to attack Randy and Sheamus. They did, but a couple weeks before that, Mark Henry started, or actually a week before that or something, Mark Henry started, staring down Ryback. They both had stare downs. They tried to outdo each other. And the same night they recruited Ryback, Mark Henry hit him with 3 World's Strongest Slams, so I thought Ryback was going to take himself out of the matchup, challenge Mark Henry, but instead he didn't do that. Vicky Guerrero pretty much did it for him, took him out of the matchup, put him in a match with Mark Henry. And I actually enjoyed this segment on SmackDown, the bench press competition, where Mark Henry got, I think 53 reps, Ryback got, I'm pretty sure 53 as well, and he was about to hit 54, but Mark Henry, not wanting Ryback to break his records, took the bar and pushed it down Ryback's throat. And although I enjoyed the segment, I don't like the fact really that Mark Henry, his whole gimmick is the world's strongest slime. He's the world's strongest slime. That's his freaking finisher. I mean, the world's strongest man. That's his gimmick. But yet, both Ryback and John Cena came close to, I guess, outmatching Mark Henry when it comes to strength. I remember one time John Cena and Mark Henry had an arm wrestling competition on Raw, and John Cena was about to beat Mark Henry, but then Randy Orton attacks John Cena. And in this case, the bench press competition, Ryback was about to beat Mark Henry, but before he could do so, Mark Henry attacked Ryback. But anyways, I didn't really go into detail on my prediction. Yeah, my prediction is Ryback, of course, as I said in the official prediction game video. Why, you ask? Well, I think this matchup is just a perfect setup for Ryback to have his WrestleMania moment. The same type of WrestleMania moments, like I said, John Cena had with the Big Show, where he lifts Mark Henry up for the shell shock. And, it gives it gives Ryback a huge victory over, former world champion, seasoned veteran Mark Henry. Who, since his return, has been dominating. He's beaten everybody. The only match he's lost is the Elimination Chamber match, where it took 3 different guys to hit their finishers on Mark Henry to take him out, and a disqualification loss against Ryback, which was because of the Shield anyway. So pretty much nobody's been able to defeat Mark Henry since coming back. He's been really dominant, and if Ryback beats Mark Henry, then he just stopped the, destruction of Mark Henry. Like, pretty much nobody's been able to stop Mark Henry's destruction so far since returning, and I believe Ryback will do so at WrestleMania. I just can't really see Mark Henry winning, so I'm looking forward to this Sunday to see if he can hit the shell shock on Mark Henry. Actually, I'm asking you guys in the comment section below, do you guys think he'll hit the shell shock on Mark Henry? Tell me in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button. I really appreciate it. With that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.